This is the human heart. Central to our physical body, our survival, revered by poets throughout history as the emotional center of our being. The place we instinctively touch when asked to point to ourselves. And now, what we have known intuitively is being understood scientifically. Researchers are unlocking a new science of the heart that could change everything we know about health and our interconnected nature. Coherence is a state of balance between heart, mind, and emotions, creating a favorable cascade of neural, hormonal, and biochemical events that benefit the entire body. But this phenomenon not only benefits us personally, it affects everything around us, emitting an electromagnetic field that can be measured up to 3 feet outside of the body. When you are in coherence, your heart resonates at the same frequency as the Earth's magnetic field. This frequency positively affects everything around you. When a group of people are in coherence together, this effect is magnified. Could communities synchronized in coherence lower violence, accelerate cooperation, and global harmony? This is the purpose of the Global Coherence Pulse. If we can measure the impact of thousands of people in coherence at the same time, it could lead to a breakthrough in understanding the full potential of the human heart. All you need to participate is your presence and your heart. To take it to the next level, join the research study by downloading the app and getting an HRV monitor to measure your personal coherence. The world needs it more than ever before. Each human heart is unique and magnificent by itself. But imagine what could be possible when we unify.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our February Global Coherence Pulse. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join with us on these pulses. We've been doing it now for almost 2 years, since right as COVID started and we went into our lockdown, and we've continued to come every month, sometimes several times during a month, to come together and cultivate coherence together as a community, and to pulse the planet with the love and the care and the compassion that we experience when we come together for this purpose. And so I really thank you for showing up and to being in this practice together as a community. And every month now we're choosing a theme that we can dive into, and we can learn from different thought leaders and partners, and we can get tools that we need. So we have a different theme every month, and we bring ourselves into an experience so that we can embody those themes. So this one is healing from the inside out. And not only do we have a pulse, but we partnered with the Awakening World with Scott Kadamas. And so we had an event last night with the same theme, looking at plant medicine and how that can support us healing from the inside out. We have our pulse this morning, and boy, is this going to be a potent pulse. Just even getting ready for you guys to come on, we just were overwhelmed with how much love we were feeling. So we're in for it today. This is going to be a good day to nourish ourselves. And then we have Saturday or Awakening World tonight, and also a session tomorrow morning. So if you really want to saturate in this conversation, come and join us for all of it. And we are really starting every single one of our pulses with actually just dropping in and beginning to cultivate coherence right from the very beginning. So I really just right now, wherever you are, just take a moment to bring your awareness right inside yourself, right to the center of your heart. It's the quickest way to begin to come into coherence and presence. And just begin to breathe in and out of your heart. Maybe a little slower and a little longer than you were breathing just a moment ago. So we can be relaxed and open and present. And just think about what you're grateful for today. Just whatever pops into your heart as you're breathing. What are you grateful for today? And send waves of love from the center of your heart out to all that you're grateful for. And throughout this session today, let's just keep our attention on our hearts, on our breathing, and notice the feelings that arise. And as they arise, let them nourish your body and ripple them out across the planet because we need it. We need it together. So thank you again for coming. And I'm really excited for you to be on this journey of healing from the inside out together. And I want to bring on Jennifer Hill, who I have asked to really host this pulse today. And, Jennifer Hill is somebody who jumped in right as we started to shelter in, and she hosted a meditation every Monday so that we had something that could support us to anchor in. And thank you, Jennifer, so much for just your care, like so consistent and so beautiful. And Jennifer is now the co-founder of a new organization, a new initiative called Om Heals, and today's the global launch of that new initiative. And Jennifer and her team's commitment is to connect people with energy practitioners all around the world, exactly what we need when we need it. And so, Jennifer, I'm really excited to have you share this Pulse experience. Jennifer is also part of our core team now with the Global Coherence Pulse. And to introduce us to your friend Shakti Durga and Maitreya today, and to have some conversations about the role of energy healing, energy practitioners, energy in our healing from the inside out.
Thank you so much, Teresa, and thank you to Shakti Durga, Maitreya, who we're going to introduce you here to in a moment, and to the whole Pulse team. This goes on behind the scenes, and sometimes you don't even know what happens. We have Ian and Kaylin and all of these beautiful spirits who are committed to coherence on the planet. And this is our dream. What if? Could you imagine what the world would look like? As the opening video showed us, could we eliminate fear, doubt, anger, frustration by just taking the time to do the work on ourselves, by healing from the inside out? I remember I was doing an episode with Deepak last year, and he said, Jen, if enough of us healed the microbiome in our gut, we would heal the whole planet and our atmosphere. And that's why the work that we're doing today and why this is so important, because we can't change anybody else. We can only do the work to heal ourselves. And I am so thankful and grateful to be able to partner with Teresa, with HeartMath, with the Global Coherence Pulse, and all of these people who are joining us from around the world. In fact, I know we have many of our practitioners from om-heals.com here with us today. Nilima in India, Sue Pine, Dr. Jose, so many incredible healers. Just Nicole Forrest, I think, in Mexico. Forgive me if I'm not getting to everyone, but I know there are so many of you who have come here to join today in Coherence. I have to tell you, Teresa and I were talking beforehand. We did a sound check with the music with Maitreya and Shakti Durga, And I said to Teresa, the music makes me cry. Maitreya is a beautiful healer on the platform, and you'll see what I mean. I said, is it okay if I cry? And Teresa said, hell yeah. So have a box of tissue nearby. Today is about you. It's about giving you tools and resources. And today we're going to be talking to my dear friend Shakti Durga, who is a prolific energy healer who has trained thousands and thousands of energy medicine practitioners from around the world. She went from becoming a famous and well respected Sydney barrister in Australia and having an awakening that transformed her life in 1992, that led her to studying with some of the greatest luminaries of her time. And she has been on this journey now for over 30 years, training healers in the Ignite Your Spirit modality, writing books. And she's trained Maitreya, who they're going to offer us some special energy healing today, and music that will just open and break open your heart, mind, body, and spirit to the health and the wholeness that wants to come forward, that is the true essence of who we are as human beings. We are light beings who are whole, complete, and perfect. And you may have heard us mention about the Global Coherence Pulse app. Please, if you have the app, when we go into these meditative experiences, turn it on and see all of the beautiful little lights that will pop up from around the world of the people who are going to join in coherence with us today. So Shakti Durga, my dear friend, I'm so honored to know you and to be able to collaborate with you on this energetic journey that we are on. Thank you for being here with us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, my friend. Perhaps you could share with us, before we dive into what energy medicine is, maybe you could take us through a little bit of your personal journey of how it was that you came to transition from being a Sydney barrister, as you've told me before, the person who wore the wigs in court and the whole shebang, to now one of the top energy healers in the entire world.
Well, it was really just personal misadventure that got me there, as it is for so many people, I think, who find their path in life. It's, you're sort of tootling along in your own bubble, really, aren't you, until something goes wrong. And for me, it was a divorce, and it just laid me low, and I wasn't coping very well. And one of my colleagues suggested that I go and, find some meditation instruction, which I did. And then one thing led to another. From there, it was the next stop was energy healing. And that was because after my divorce was finalized and I'd been so strong and, getting it all done, getting into my new house, and then my body just went, oh, like that. And I had chronic bronchitis, very long, 6 months or more of chronic bronchitis, and tried everything. Nothing worked. And someone said, go and have energy healing. This was 1992. It's like, yeah, right. And so anyway, I went because I was desperate, and I thought, well, whatever. And I was open but didn't believe it was going to do anything, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah, I'll try it. Anyway, the energy healer pulled a big blob of grief and sadness out of my lungs that I couldn't feel it at all myself. And I would have said it's not there. But she pulled it out, and you know what happened? My lungs were better. The next day, I just didn't have bronchitis. And I could have pretended that didn't happen, and I was very tempted, because it just threatened my whole paradigm of who I was and what was real. But I'm really glad that I just thought, I've got to find out about this. I really need to know what happened then. And so that put me on a quest to learn a lot about energy healing, and I tend to be quite disciplined in things. So I was going all over the world finding energy modalities and practitioners and teachers and masters, and just being like a sponge and absorbing as much as I could. So that's how I got there, and then just practicing energy healing every day. So it's just something that probably for me, there would be few days in a year where I don't do energy healing. And so I feel that it's a remarkable untapped resource for people to understand more about themselves, about their own health. But also, I think it's one of the most underrated consciousness tools we have. And that I think that energy healing can be utilized as a pathway for self-realization and world peace. It's a big statement, but I think that can be validated. Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more, Shakti Durga. I was myself had a lung related issue back about 2 months ago, and I was just coughing and in pain. And God forbid, so many of us have had this experience with COVID and just normal flus and colds. And yet you think, okay, I'll take antibiotics or I'll do this. And trust me, at that point, it had been a month. And one beautiful young healer who's on our platform named Liz, I was a little apprehensive because I've worked with a lot of energy healers, and I was like, okay, I'll do a session with you. And she took me through a process, and we realized that I had grief in my lungs that was stuck from when I was 3 years old. And I went from coughing 100 times a day, barely being able to get air in, to boom, it was gone in a moment. And that's what this is about, is we have emotions, we have pain, and yet we try to put a band-aid on it, right? We have this gaping wound, whatever that might be, of pain or hurt or betrayal, and yet we don't understand why physically we might have a backache or our body hurts or why we have symptomology. So, Shakti Durga, what I would love for you to share, because this is the new frontier of consciousness. What is energy medicine for people who might be newer to it? Could you elaborate on that for us?
Yeah. Energy medicine, I think, is complementary to allopathic or mainstream medicine. I use both in my life. But basically what it is looking at the whole of creation as energy. Energy either that's static or kinetic, either way, but energy can't be destroyed, it can only be transformed. And so it is that we're energy, we're made out of energy too. And so we're working on that very, I suppose, quantum level to reveal what is it that's blocked or stuck within us that then gives rise to the symptom of a disease or an illness. And we'd even say, what is it that contributes to accidents happening in our life? What are the factors that are behind the scenes that lead to self-sabotage or any kind of event that's quite painful and tricky? What is the blockage in consciousness, and where is it coming from? Which level of our being is it in? And so, I love this organization and what's happening here with people wanting to put their mind, their body, and their emotional body into coherence. I just am so excited about this work. I would also add that through the heart, and only through the heart, we can touch our soul. So I'm certainly not the first person to think this is true. I think those words actually come from Rumi rather a long time ago. And mystics throughout the centuries have always known that it's through your heart that you touch your soul. And our souls are these incredibly potent, energetic beingnesses. Our souls, to me, as I've meditated on the soul over years, is like a geometry of light and sound that is so potent and so connected to everybody else's soul that we can come into coherence very quickly by this awareness of the soul through the heart. And in energy medicine, we help people get in touch with that, because I think the greatest healing power that exists is actually within us already. And so energy healing is a number of ways, there's many modalities, and it's how we awaken that inner potency to heal, and to also not just heal the body, but I've seen people heal relationships. I've seen people heal their self-esteem. I've seen people heal from any kind of emotional pattern or trauma that they've had, utilizing energy healing. And as we practice it, the Ignite Your Spirit modality, we also include a lot of positive psychology tools. Pardon me. A lot of things like forgiveness and a lot of the things you'd find probably in Heart Math. And a number of different pieces of the puzzle come together, but the root of it is the energy work and getting in touch with these deeper parts of who you are. And then things just kind of seem to heal.
Yes, and I'm so happy you just brought up heart math as well, because I wanted to say it's interesting. I just got my own inner balance monitor, and I've noticed I've been experimenting on myself like a good little pretend civil science, what would you call that, civilian scientist. And it is so fascinating because if I'm not in my heart and if I'm holding on to anger, it looks completely erratic. And of course, you get this little red beep that's coming at you. And something I noticed recently is if I say the Ho'oponopono prayer, which is a beautiful forgiveness prayer, or if you think thoughts of forgiveness, all of a sudden my heart just drops right into beautiful coherence. And what I love about you, Shakti Durga, and the team that you do, one of the many things that I love is the science that you offer. Even on one of your websites, I remember in one of our earliest conversations, some of you might be out there thinking much like Shakti Durga or myself when we were thinking, I don't know. I mean, they're talking about this, and that might work for Shakti Durga or Jen or Teresa, but I don't necessarily buy it. And I think that's where I love the work that you're doing in Heart Math and many other brilliant energy practitioners around the world are doing, is that you actually have the science to show that this does make a difference. Can you talk to us for a moment about the science that is coming out right now around energy medicine?
Yeah, I can. There's a meta-study that's been done by a woman in England. Oh, actually, there's a team of scientists that worked on it. And they looked at all of the studies that had been done on energy healing, which there's more than you would think. And they analysed them all, cross-referenced everything, excluded some studies where they thought there wasn't enough rigour. And they came up with a statement that they felt that energy healing was useful and beneficial. And so I thought, wow, isn't that great? You know, finally we've got not just one study, but it was a meta-analysis of a number of different studies. I think there were studies not just on humans. There was maybe about 50 studies in the human one in that meta-analysis, and then the other meta-analysis was on animals and cells and plants. So they used cells in cultures and things, and they worked on plants and they worked on animals, and they found that energy healing worked in situations where you could not say it was placebo effect. You know, cells in a test tube, placebo effect. You know, in terms of how many cells live after they've been irradiated, and this group has had energy healing, this group hasn't, and the numbers were extraordinary. So there is now some stuff around about that. When we have energy healing, I think we can be our own guinea pigs in a way. And what I would say is that there's many modalities around, and I think that's a wonderful thing. And I've noticed in the chat that people are referring to various different types of energy healing, from homeopathy to Donna Eden's work, and many forms of vibrational medicine. And vibrational medicine is energy medicine. So there's many different types: Reiki, Touch for Health, Ignite Spirit Therapy, Lift Therapy. Lift and Ignite Spirit have been developed in our organisation. Lift is more scientific. It's more developed by an academic psychologist and a psychiatrist. So it's for people who would prefer more academically validated components to the energy healing. And then Ignite Your Spirit is for the people who are looking for the big ride, the big spiritual deep dive into themselves. And in that modality, we're able to sometimes share with people experiences from past lives, that when we fix something in another incarnation, suddenly their body is working perfectly in this one. So we don't focus just on that. We focus on the energy centers and what is it that's going to make you blaze in your life. How do you get that vitality and that sunniness, that sense of being able to be okay? No matter what happens, you're going to be okay. To have that confidence in yourself and to feel good about yourself and to put your best foot forward, whatever you're doing in your life. One of the things we clear away a lot in Ignite Spirit Therapy and Lift actually is patterns of how we hold our mind and our energy in kind of signatures where we just go into the same loop all the time, believing we're not good enough, or believing that people don't really care about us, or that we're not really accepted, and working through these loops to release those patterns so that people can have a whole different experience of what it means to be them. And I've got to say that that's not necessarily an instant fix. That's deep work, that's soulful work. But over time, I really believe that regular energy healing, whether in group, like at a satsang, like we run satsang every week, and it's free. Anyone can come to our satsang, and there's always healing, group healing, and then the individual sessions where you go on a deep dive with a therapist. And what I would say, if you're looking at how do you know who to go to, or I would say be careful to get the most experienced person you can and know what you want out of energy healing. And that's where I love what you're doing with Om Heals, because what you're doing is asking people to fill out a questionnaire so that you can assess, okay, what is this person actually wanting? You know, do they have cancer, or do they have, you know, an emotional issue they want, or do they feel disconnected from their own inner being? What is it? Or do they want some huge experience of blazing divine light? You know, what are they wanting out of their energy healing? And then you match them with therapists who you know work that way, of all different modalities. I just love that. I think it's fabulous. Thank you so much for bringing that to the world. And on an app that anyone can access on their phone, it's like, yay. So we've encouraged some of our therapists to be part of that Om Heals platform, because I just think it's great that they can say what sort of healing work they want to do, and you then match them with people from all around the world who just want to do that. So isn't that amazing? I just think, you know, it's great. I just noticed in the comments that David says that my website won't load. The Shakti Durga website it could even be, I don't know if it's happening today. There's a brand new website about to launch, shaktidurga.com, and I'm not sure whether the team's working on the website today or not, but that could be why it won't load.
It does load.
It loaded for me just now.
Oh, okay. So a couple of other people have found that it's loading. But there's a brand new one coming with lots of toys to play with. There's going to be lots of healing experiences and lots of meditations and podcasts and you name it. Lots of stuff that you can just do, that you can go there and you can get the blessings of the energy that's been embedded into the site. It's the other thing about energy healing. Every now and again, clean your computer. You'll find that it'll last longer and work better because it gets so choked up with energy. Anyway, that's a bit of an aside. Sorry, Jennifer.
Oh, no, please, no need to apologize. And I just want to give people context. The reason we created Om Heals is because what we found is that there's a certain amount of differentiation or variability from one person to the other that's tolerable. And I don't know if any of you have ever had this, but I know when I was struggling, I went through a divorce and went through some challenging times when I was younger, depression and a myriad of other things, eating disorders. I really struggled to find a therapist. And in any relationship, whether it's energy medicine or normal therapy, what happens is if you don't feel safe with a person, you can't allow or receive that healing to occur. And so we actually found at Om Heals that there's about 3 to 5% variability across 4 quadrants that is tolerable and that is a perfect match for you to be able to receive it. And unfortunately, I've made this mistake. I just did this with one of my dear friends who was one of my favorite energy healers. I referred to her, and then when I looked at it algorithmically, it wasn't a good match for her. It's not that the healer wasn't good, it's that they were diametrically opposed from one another and an algorithmic thing, and there's only so much we can receive. So that's why it's so important to know who it is that you're working with. And that's why we love Shakti Durga and her team so much. Maitreya, who's going to be joining Shakti Durga with some music. He is just a beautiful, soulful musician. And his wife, Sada, who's also on the platform. I don't even know if I shared this with you, Shakti Durga. There was a beautiful gentleman who was a veteran who we gifted a session to. We were doing a special in December and January. For every purchase made, we were gifting a session to a veteran. And Sada did a session with this gentleman, and he was apprehensive. He's like, yeah, I don't know about energy medicine. And he went through the session with her, and he said, Jennifer, I want you to know, I have been in anger management and anxiety therapy and AA and normal therapy for 30 years. He said, my 1-hour session with Sada did more for me than those 30 years. And that's the power of this, is that it can be an arduous journey of trying to find who resonates with you and who can support you in 1 hour with deep, profound healings. I can't recommend all of Shakti Durga's healers enough. I've had the privilege of working with many of them, and one is honestly better than the next. They are all equally talented and magical.
Thank you so much. And you know, our therapists are very highly trained, so there's none of this do a weekend workshop and you're qualified. For us, it's a 5-year journey, and that's the beginning. That's where you get qualified to be a therapist, and after that, it's a lifelong learning curve. And we just keep going deeper and deeper and finding more love, more joy, more connection with each other, with the planet, with nature. And the other thing that happens as you practice energy healing is that the intuitive faculty develops. And so that's been a great boon in all of our lives, because I think it makes us better human beings. Our heart chakras, our centers of consciousness in the heart actually become larger. One of the things that's not known widely about the energy centers is that they can become very unbalanced because of the things we believe in, the way we've been raised, past life stuff, all kinds of things. And you can have someone whose chakral configuration is, they've got a massive crown chakra, but their ajna chakra is not really working, their throat chakra is all congested, their heart chakra's got all these blobs in it, and their life is not going to feel good. Maybe they've got no base chakra going into the earth properly, and so with a big crown and no base, you're going to feel like an airhead all the time. You're going to feel ungrounded, and you're going to be procrastinating and not able to get on with your life. So we energize the base chakra and clear the blockages, and then, pull some of that energy down to the right energy center that needs it, and all kinds of different realizations start to come for people. Similarly, if the heart center's blocked, it's very hard to find coherence because you've got too much going on. We often have people coming for sessions with us who've been through all kinds of painful experiences in their life, from the death of loved ones to painful divorces. And I've counseled and done healings for people who, this all happened 10 or 20 years ago, but it's so present in the energy center that when they even speak of it, it feels in the heart center like it happened last week. But actually it was 20 years ago, because in your energy body there's no sense of time like there is in the physical world. It's just all sitting there. And so as we clear away these old patterns, people feel like they've got a new lease of life. They feel lighter, they feel clearer, and they feel empowered to actually be able to be the loving being that they kind of know on some level they are. But the pain of not being able to find that part of yourself is terrible, really terrible. And one is so lonely when we can't connect with our own heart. And so energy healing is one of the best ways, one of the fastest ways that we can get people in touch with themselves. And then there's also very special relationships that happen between the energy centers. For instance, there's a relationship between the heart center and the solar plexus center. And if that relationship's out of balance, it's going to affect the balance of giving and receiving in any relationship that you're ever in. And that can be very toxic and painful too, and create all kinds of codependency and lots of stuff. So, by fixing these energetic imbalances, people's consciousness shifts, and they find, oh wow, look at that, I'm finding that I'm less of a doormat. I'm finding I'm able to speak up for myself, pleasantly. I'm able to believe in myself because the big root of energy that was sitting in that solar plexus can be shifted. So these are some of the things that I've experienced in my own life, and watching many, many other people in lots of different countries of the world. It doesn't seem to matter what nationality we are. We can all experience this, what culture we come from. Our work in China with the Chinese people, they're so sweet and lovely, and they love the energy healing, as they do in America, as they do in Canada, as they do in Mexico, as they do in Australia, you name it. Just, it's universal.
So beautiful, Shakti Durga. And I know we're about to go into music, though I did want to point out some people have mentioned struggling to find your Shakti Durga website, which we mentioned will be up and live again if you're having problems in the next day or so. I did want to do a shout out, though, for your other website called the WBI, the wellbeinginitiative.org. I don't think I've shared this with you either, Shakti Durga, though I had a dear friend who is really struggling. And not everybody can afford energy medicine right now. Our dream at Om Heals is to have a division where, much like you do, which is your the WBI, which is where people can donate or sometimes even apply for getting free energy healing. And it completely shifted one of my dear friends' lives who didn't have the money for it. And I said, please go to my friend Shakti Durga's website and go to the Book a Lift button. And she just could not say enough good things. So there's the WBI, which is also such a beautiful tool. You can apply for a lift if you don't have the money for it. And I just can't thank you enough for the work that you're doing on the planet with this Shakti Durga. So thank you for that.
And there's 30 healers working through that website to give healings to people who can't afford it, and they are amazing. They're all trained to this very high degree, and we welcome people applying, particularly if they have depression or burnout or anxiety or pain or relationship problems. That's what that particular project is about. So burnout, pain, depression, anxiety, and COVID. So we're helping people a lot with COVID and also with the vaccinations, because some people have problems after the vaccinations, but usually it's able to be cleared sometimes in one sitting through energy healing, because most of the issue is energetic with those vaccinations. So, but quite debilitating if it affects you badly. Get some energy healing. So we welcome people, and also donations, because think of the karmic grace of donating for someone else's well-being. It's amazing. Same with your site, really. Yeah.
So beautiful, Shakti Durga. Thank you so much. And a shout out to one of our pet healers who is on the call today, Cheryl Lazarus. So a shout out to Cheryl and Jerry. So many wonderful healers out there. You can go through our whole list of healers at om-heals.com and view all practitioners or see who you match with. And without further ado, though, everybody grab a box of tissues. I know I'm going to be crying. So I'm going to hand this over to Shakti Durga and to Maitreya to take us into a musical interlude and energetic healing experience. Open your hearts and see what comes up for you. Allow it to come in, and don't be afraid to cry. There can be some beautiful catharsis in allowing yourself to feel whatever emotion you feel right now. So I hand it over to both of you.
So connecting our hearts, it's an honor to be here. Maitreya, at your service. I've been blessed to study with Shakti Durga more than 15 years now, and this energy healing, like Shakti Durga, like many others, I was very skeptical, and I went into my first energy session with the arms crossed. Someone got it for me as a gift, and I'm like, I'm not going to pretend something happens if it does, but it was profound, and my mind could not understand, but my heart could feel. So I'll just sing, and then we'll sing a song that I came up with called "Your Love Is Real." I love what we're doing, and big shout out to Teresa and the Global Coherence Pulse. To be part of this is a real honor for us and a huge blessing. And so we all need help, and to come together, connect our hearts. Music is perfect match with energy healing, energy medicine, and to help us heal from the inside out. So we'll sing "Your Love Is Real." One word that we sing a lot is Narayani. Narayani, it's a name for the goddess energy in all of creation, which means it's connecting with the energy around us and inside us that is strength, wisdom, and wealth. So this is a game for all players. When we sing, you can join in as well, and just connect our hearts. Narayani, Narayani, Narayani. Amma is the mother. Together, Narayani.
Narayani.
Namo, Namo.
Narayani.
Namo, Namo.
Narayani.
Amma.
Amma.
Narayani. 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 Amma. With our hearts together, Narayani.
Narayani.
Namo, Namo.
Narayani.
Namo, I bow.
Narayani.
Namo.
Amma.
Your love is real. Your love is real. It overwhelms me,
It overwhelms me,
and I surrender. help us heal. You help us heal. And you lift me. And you lift me. And I remember. And I remember. And now we're all free. Now we're all free. Everybody, Narayani. Narayani. Namo, namo. Narayani. Namo, namo. Narayani. Namo. Narayani. Narayani. Namo, namo. Narayani. Namo, namo. Narayani. Namo. Your love is real. Your love is real. It overwhelms me. It overwhelms me. And I surrender. And I surrender to your glory. To your glory. You help us heal. You help us heal. And you lift me. And you lift me. And I awaken. And I awaken. As you call me. As you call me. Narayani. Narayani. Namo, namo. Narayani. Namo, namo. Narayani. Namo. Amma. Durga, the protector. Durga, Durga, Durga. Jaya, Jaya, Durga, Durga, Durga. Jaya, Jaya, Durga, Durga, Durga. Amma. Protection from fear. Durga, Durga, Durga. Jaya, Jaya, Durga, Durga, Durga. Jaya, Jaya, Durga, Durga, Durga. Amma. Hey ma Durga, 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 Durga. Jaya, Jaya, Durga, Durga, Durga. Jaya, Jaya, Durga. Amma, amma, amma. Hey ma Durga, Durga, Durga. Jaya, Jaya, Durga, Durga, Durga. Jaya, Jaya, Durga, Durga, Durga. Amma.
And breathe the energy into your heart center. And then release the breath through your crown center. And connecting outwardly to the infinite that's all around us in nature, in the cosmos. And imagine you can draw that cosmic, vast energy of love and joy in through the top of your head, down through your body, out through the base chakra at the base of your spine, and connecting to Mother Earth, who provides us with everything we need. And connecting with nature in the way that is right for you, feeling the love we have for the beauty of a wonderful time at the ocean or in a forest or a particular tree that you love, or putting your hands in the soil and feeling that energy and vibrance and peacefulness, and draw it up through your feet, up through the base of the spine, and bring it all the way up to your heart center, and let it mingle with the energy that's already in your heart center. And just thinking to yourself, today begins a new journey of deeper awakening, more regular coherence, a vastness in connection to the inner self, and drawing the energy in through your heart center, and imagine it goes a mile inside you, just in and deep through one dimension after another of who you be. from the physical moving into the etheric, and the emotional self and the mind self into all the realms of the soul and the infinite oneness that connects us all. And feel the deep ocean of that infinite oneness within your own heart center. And just breathing into that feeling of love, connectedness, joy, peace, and hope. Our world needs a lot of hope right now. And I'm going to ask you to do some world service right now. I'm going to ask you to raise your hands with your palms facing outward, and from the peace in your heart, I'd like you to send love to the Ukraine, where there's some issues. And send love to everyone in Russia and the Russian leaders. May there be coherence in all of the hearts of all of the leaders and politicians and military personnel, and blessing all of the leaders in the NATO alliances, the American leaders, everyone who has a stake in peacefulness in the Ukraine, and sending this love and desire for peace, desire for acceptance of the will of the Ukrainian people to be made manifest. And don't try and make anybody wrong, but just allow there to be coherence in all the hearts, sending your love to everyone involved, and asking that through the vastness that there be peace. May there be peace. May there be peace. And may there be something for everybody in the granting of peace, in the finding of peace, in expanding the consciousness of all concerned to the place where peace already exists. And breathing in through the top of your head, touch your heart center, and through one or both hands, just sending so much love and goodwill to all, that it can be peace that is a win-win-win in a way we might not yet know how. And just send that intention in full faith, in full faith, in full faith. And then coming back from that, just cutting and releasing the energy, just send it, let it go. And now coming back into your own heart and looking at your own life, and think if there's anybody in your life with whom you need to come and find some more coherence. So being aware of the energy in your heart, and breathe up from nature, up through the feet, through the base of your spine, and sending the energy to whoever it is that maybe you haven't spoken to them in a while. Maybe something went wrong. And just sending them a message that you'd love to reconnect, to sort things out, to go deeper, and to find the essence again of your connectedness. Because it takes all of us to find peace, for there to be peace in the Ukraine, because we're all connected. Just finding your own peace, not blaming anybody else when things go wrong, but finding within yourself, how is this a message from your inner being to become more and more an enlightened soul, gracing the earth with your presence here and bringing forth a new world. And breathing deeply in. And one of the reasons that my name is Durga is because I really resonate with the stories of Durga, of strength and courage, that part of the infinite is this energy of strength and courage, the courage to love, and the strength to find a higher vibration and live there. And this energy of Durga is like the Holy Spirit in the Christian tradition. It's in everything, but we have to wake it up. So let's wake up some Durga inside of ourselves. Thanks, Maitreya.
Together.
Durga Maha
Hema Durga.
Hema Durga
Durga Ma. Hema Durga.
Durga Maha
Hema.
Hema Durga
Durga Ma. Hema Durga.
Durga Maha
Hema.
Hema Durga
Durga Ma. Hema Durga. With our hearts.
Durga Maha Hema Durga
Jai Jagadambe. Hema Durga. Jai Jagadambe.
Jai Jagadambe
Queen of the universe.
Hema Durga Jai Jagadambe Hema Durga Jai Jagadambe Hema Durga Jai Jagadambe Hema Durga Jai Jagadambe Hema Durga
Durga Ma.
Hema Durga
Durga.
Durga Maha
Ma.
Hema Durga
Durga Ma.
Hema Durga
Hema Durga.
Durga Maha
Hema.
Hema Durga
Dum Durga dum Durga dum Durga protect us, Mother.
Om Dum Durga Ye Om Dum Durga Ye Om Dum Durga Ye
Dum Durga dum Durga dum Durga oh.
Om Dum Durga Ye Om Dum Durga Ye Om Dum Durga Ye
Durga Ma.
Hema Durga
Durga. Calling out.
Durga
Let
Maha
your heart sing.
Hema Durga
Durga Ma.
Hema Durga
Hema Durga.
Durga Maha
Hema.
Hema Durga
Jai Jagadambe. Hema Durga. Jai Jagadambe.
Jai Jagadambe Hema Durga Jai Jagadambe Hema Durga
Victory to the Queen of the
Jai
universe.
Jagadambe
Yeah.
Hema Durga
Jai Jagadambe.
Hema Durga
Together. Jai Jagadambe.
Hema Durga
Jagadambe Jai Jai Ma. Jagadambe Jai Jai Ma. Jai.
Jagarambe Jai Jai Ma Jagarambe energy of that chant. It's a universal prayer for strength to bring the highest and best to everything that we think, do, and say. And imagine if we could do that. Imagine having that inner strength not to clench when someone's pressing your buttons. That's what strength is. To be able to have the strength to breathe and to be measured in our responses. And if we could all do that, then the world would be at peace. So just breathing in that intention, and let's ask that our inner being send forth the golden light from within ahead of us in time to when the next lot of challenges come for any of us, whether they be large or small, and may we meet them with as much grace as possible, with as much of that strength, that Durga energy as we can, to overcome the limitations and adversity and truly be a light worker in this world that needs it. Namaste, everybody.
Let's stay in this beautiful place. Maitreya, you can stay with your guitar just gently, as first of all of us that are listening right now, whether live or on the recording, let's send a wave of love to Shakti and Maitreya. So beautiful, such a beautiful experience. Thank you. And let's send love to Jennifer and her team at Om Heals as they launch today this beautiful resource. Let's bring Jennifer on too. Just send them all of our love and our support as she launches this new project. Jennifer, I'm going to bring you on. Yeah. Let's send this love wherever it's needed on the planet right now. Let's leave no molecule left untouched by this love. Now gather all this love and send it right into the center of your own heart, filling you with this love and grace and healing energy. So that we can pause and respond with love because we're full. I love that we can come together like this and explore these ideas and really be nourished by them and use our collective experience of love and really change the frequency of the energy inside us and around us and in the world. We really do have an impact right now. So beautiful. Jennifer, I love that we're all teary-eyed. we're feeling it for real. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. So this is just a time, if you want to reflect in the chat something of your experience, and love to hear from each of you of just anything that you want to share before we let people know how to engage more fully with all of you and other things that are coming. This is a huge doorway that we've opened up in this weekend of healing from the inside out, and the meditations and the global events that are coming this week we can carry this love and really amplify it together. So, Jennifer, I think I'm going to start with you just because you're just so moved, and that's the perfect moment to speak. uh,
Teresa, I honestly don't know if I can. It's funny, I actually wasn't going to share this, but I feel compelled to. 2 days ago, I found out I had COVID, and I was struggling because I was like, I didn't want to let anybody down. And I spent 8 hours today in prayer and meditation, and I just couldn't think of a better way to spend this weekend and to embody and walk the walk. This is the work, is that we get to show up. You're going to have COVID, you're going to have depression, upset, anxiety. And yet we get to still show up. And I acknowledge Andrew Appel. He was so sweet. He texted me earlier and said, can't wait to see you. And he said, please, Jen, come on to our collective online healing. And myself and the team will send you healing. So just deep gratitude for you for holding this space. And I just really feel rejuvenated and revived thanks to all of the beautiful music and the healing. And I'm just so deeply, profoundly grateful that you gave us this space and this opportunity to launch Om Heals in such a space of love, and to all the beautiful healers who are with us, and all of you out there who might not even realize that we're all healers at our core, whether you're a practitioner or not. We all have the capacity to heal ourselves from the inside out. So thank you for this opportunity.
Wow. Could I look at one of the comments from a participant? Matthias says, Dear, I want to share with you. Today I understood global coherence cannot be established without help. We can't do this by ourselves. There's this great divine being with its power, and I'm feeling it. There's a huge love coming from it for all of us. It's like, wow, how beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Shakti Durga, and thank you for all the love. I feel it from everybody. And thank you, Maitreya, your music. It was so funny, Maitreya. I happened to come across the recordings. I remember when we did our session a few months ago, it must have been October, and I had recorded it on my phone, and I was looking for a meditation, and I started playing it. And just every time I hear your music, Maitreya, it touches my soul in such a profound way. Thank you for the gift that you bring. And hearing you sing as well, Shakti Durga, was so magnificent. The way your energies just coherently came together.
So, Jennifer, we all really want to take a moment. I'm so glad that you shared how you're feeling. I mean, it's amazing. She was on last night, which was the middle of the night for her. This is the
Wow.
end of the evening. That tonight is going to be another like early morning for her. And I know I just had COVID about a month ago, and boy, your energy just really drops down and you wouldn't know it. But we want to right now. This is like one of the most essential things that we can do together, is that we can send you some healing love. And as your baby launches, now's time for you to take a little pause and to let yourself receive all of the love that you're generating and have it renew you. So we're just going to take a moment here together, and we are focusing all of our love and healing energy that we know it works, and we're sending it right to you. There's anybody else out there that's listening right now that's not feeling well, we're wrapping you in this love. This healing is happening for everyone. Mm.
Thank you. I receive it, Teresa. And thank you for giving me the space, to each of you, for being vulnerable. You know, one of my biggest fears as a human is to disappoint people. And I didn't want to have it be in the space or have anybody be worried about me, because I just wanted to show up and be here for everyone else. So thank you for allowing me to share that.
I'm super excited. I'm going to say this. I'm enjoying working with Jennifer, and I want to keep deepening that. And I want more of the vulnerable Jennifer, because that's the part that's so much of your gift. And you have all of the other, like being able to facilitate and keep everything on time and all of it. But there's something around when we actually pause in that and we leave space open for it and we get to be vulnerable together, is when the magic happens. And so let's keep letting it be that we are like right here, raw in our own journey of cultivating coherence, because we know that it is the gift that we can bring to ourselves and the world. And it's messy, but we can do it together. That's why we're doing these, so that we can have these times together where we feel lifted up, and it's like, you know what? I can do this. I can stop clenching my fist when that thing comes up. And I can start to just feel the bottom of my feet and breathe in my heart for a minute. It just takes a second, and then respond in a way that actually makes me feel good. You know. Anyway, Maitreya, I'd love to hear from you for a minute. What a beautiful man. And you know, it's the second he comes on, like right before we came with you, Maitreya comes on and his smile just kind of like brightens everything up, and it's instantaneous. It's a transmission that you carry, I think, consistently.
Thank you, Teresa, and Jennifer. You are the real deal. You know, you're a warrior, and yeah, that vulnerability, that authenticity, that's a real key for all of us. And Teresa, this work that you're doing, and to connect. I put all that down, whatever joy or whatever the heart or the love. It's my studies with Shakti Durga and the wonderful teachers and the help that I've had, and the music does it, you know. The music just has the key, because you know, I've got my journey as well, and the troubles and separation. It's such a long winding journey, but as Shakti Durga has told me for many years, this path that we're on, it's a marathon, you know. And sometimes we have periods in our life where it's extra intensity, and that's like a little sprint within a marathon. But just the day to day, just like we clean our teeth and we try and maintain our bodies and look after our health, that's all part. And I feel like now, as well as cleaning my teeth, I try and clean my chakras. I try and look at what's happening in my mind, and so it does feel like work, and it's tough. It's hard work sometimes. I'm trying to take responsibility for you know, all the things, but at the end of the day, it's so worth it, the journey, because more love than you ever know. That's what we get to feel. And Shakti Durga has just taught me so much about myself and healing from the inside. And just when I think I've felt as much love as I can feel, we get together and we meet you guys. It's like, oh, here we go, the heart, here it goes again, because
More room.
there's no limit except in terms of our heart and in terms of our ability. But I feel like for me, a big part of the journey is when I started studying with Shakti Durga, learning the techniques for the energy healing and amazed by it, I started to feel like, well, I've got so much work I need to do on myself and cleaning up things that happen in my life. Then I'll be ready and fit to help others. But that's the twofold thing: the inner work and consistently getting the support that we need, which is such an important part of it. So many healers that we connect with and help, they need the help as well. So it's that getting that help that we need, and at the same time we can still reach out and help someone, and that is part of the healing journey as well. The music, you can find all the music that we've done through the websites, and if you want to download it, it's all available there. I'm excited to finally be able to come to America again. My beautiful wife Sada, she's totally amazing, and she's a musician and a healer as well. We were going to USA every year. We were managed to juggle between Australia and USA and India sometimes, but COVID had a different story for a lot of different plan for so many of us. And we've been away from Sada's family, and USA for over 2 years. So we're going back there end of April, May. So San Diego, LA, New York, Connecticut, South Carolina. We'll do healings, music, connecting hearts, and serving and seeing family.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Could I just take up your point about strength for a moment and vulnerability? To me, those two words mean the same thing. It's like you can't find your strength unless you go into the vulnerability. And to me, that's what that connection is for me with Durga. It's very aspirational to have that strength, you know, to keep going inside and uncover all the things that might be painful. And look, just full glory to you, Jen. That was amazing that you could do that today and be as unwell as you are. You know, you are such an amazing person. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Shakti Durga. I really attribute it to this practice. You know, this is it, and I prayed. And honestly, I wouldn't have done it. I would have, as much as I would have hated to look bad or have it not show up, but I do everything and I talk to God every day. I'm like, God, are you sure? Are you sure I got this? And yet the universe just gave me all the resources I needed, and I'm just so profoundly, deeply grateful. So it's about always just trusting and being in the flow of what's in our highest and best good in this moment and the next and the next.
I think this might be a good time to share how we can be in touch with everyone and give you guys a chance to talk a little bit more about the offerings you have, because I know people are excited to maybe have an experience. I mean, I got to have a lift with Shakti Durga about a week and a half ago, and it was so beautiful. What a wonderful gift. I felt so refreshed and and uplifted. Things have been happening. It's good. So I'm going to share my screen. I've made some slides, and Kaylin will help me by putting some links in the chat. I've already done that, but Shakti Durga, this is like, there's so much here. I went and looked around on your website. Boy, I could spend a long time with all the wonderful things you have to offer.
Yeah, and this website's just on its last legs, and the new one's coming. We've just had a few. It's a very amazing website coming, and it'll have even more toys to play with meditations and podcasts and things. But if you sign up to our newsletter, then you'll know when that's happening. You'll know about all of our events and all of the different programs that we run. So we do run a lot of programs, and we run everything in 2 time zones so that people from Europe and people from America are well accommodated. And so everything's on Zoom because of COVID, but we're going to keep it that way as well. But you can learn about retreats, you can learn about the more spiritual side of the work that I do on this particular website, and the deep dive into how do we evolve to become the person that can be so heart-centered and so strong and really have that, I suppose, more online with our heart than ever. How do you manage your mind for that? How do you manage your emotions? Practical stuff, but very spiritual and big spiritual experiences and lots of music. So that's that website. And then the other website, this is where you go if you'd like to apply for the free energy healing. And we also have half price energy healing for people who earn an average wage because, you know, we've got a lot to cope with in life, and so if you earn less than about $40,000 or $50,000, we give you half price healing. And for anyone who's on welfare or unemployed or has been really struggling in their life, then we give that. So long as we got funds in our fund to do it, we give it, and we give the healings in batches of 5 usually. And then we ask for some feedback from the client to say, well, do you think it's helping you? Because if it's not, we don't want to give you another 5 because it wastes everyone's time. But that hasn't happened so far. And if it's going well, we're likely to give you another 5 healings as well. And so that's where we have this team of people ready to serve. So go on that website, have a look around. And this one, we do a lot of work with health professionals. And at the moment, I'm working with 2 health authorities here in Australia and helping some of the managers and some of the medical folks deal with all the stress that COVID's brought into their lives, already stressful lives. And this website was originally set up to provide free meditations, which are also on the site, which anyone can access, but they were designed for the health professionals on the East Coast of America when COVID first broke. And some of my friends over there who were in that cohort were just struggling so badly that one of my colleagues, Dr. Kathy Perego, who's a psychiatrist in Connecticut and New York, she and I just did a whole lot of meditations that were free for anyone in the medical profession. And they're still on this site, but anyone can use them to help you with stress and depression and anxiety and relationship healings. And so go in and have a look around and feel free to use the resources.
Thank you so much for making that possible. I think we are all wanting to make sure that everybody has access to the things that we know can help us all. And for those that need, it's great that it's there. And if you have, donate. We need to have these self-generating community encouraging ourselves to be healed. So that's how whole system healing happens. Is if we have, we give, and if we need, then we have some resources available. So thank you for that. It's so important. And Maitreya and Sada, there's a little picture of her there. I wanted to include that.
Yeah,
beautiful.
My beautiful wife, and we're very grateful and blessed to have all the studies over the years and with Shakti Durga, and that's taken us on adventures all around the world and retreats and programs. We've done energy healing with in hospitals in India with all the staff from the hospital. We had about 40 therapists in this huge room at the hospital, and the cleaners came in, the doctors, the nurses, and we just gave a whole hundreds of just mini healings. Like, we have these adventures, and it's so beautiful. Plus the music, that is the universal language. Any language barrier, any cultural challenge of like trying to connect, out the window as soon as the music starts. So Maitreya and Sada, we love to do the music and bring that into all of our meditations. We do weekly music. We do weekly mentoring sessions on Zoom, which I've been running mine for more than 10 years now. For the US crowd, it is 7 p.m. New York time on a Monday evening, just to get together, and we just tune in, because at the end of the day, our life is our classroom of growth and learning, and so we share, this is how I'm going, and we do some sort of energy healing and music, of course. In those sessions, Sada leads one of those and I lead one, and as I mentioned earlier, we're really looking forward to finally visiting again LA, San Diego, New York, Connecticut, South Carolina this year, and then more in the future. But the thing that Teresa said about giving, that generosity, and when we can give to the charities, to help. Because when I have an experience like this, I'm like, I want to give, because I want to say to the universe, I want more of that. That is really precious. I value these types of things. And I think it's great to offer it. Like this program, you can just join in and it's available to everyone. But if you have something to give, and we can give back and then keep the ball rolling, keep the love spreading, and make it possible. So I do the healing work with Om Heals and Shakti Durga, and the Wellbeing Initiative. So these charities, these groups, very close to my heart, and I'm just going to keep singing as long as I can. And well, you'll have to let me know about your tour in the US, and I'll make sure that our Global Coherence Pulse people know how to find you in doing that, and love to have you on some additional pulses or other events. We'll definitely play more, because it's true, the music really helps us open more fully, go deeper. It's essential. That's why we bring music to every pulse. Perfect.
So, and Jennifer, Om Heals launches today. I mean, so good.
Oh, thank you, my friend. I know this is a dream come true, and I remember, Kabbalistically speaking, they say the harder something is, the more light it reveals. So I'm intending that the universe, you just got to imagine fist bumping the universe. Oh, you gave me COVID because you wanted me to expand more light and expand my vessel even bigger. What a pleasure, universe. So yes, thank you. We have many reviews from Sada, who is Maitreya's wonderful wife, as well as other healers on the platform, many of whom are here. I know Ashley Lee is another great healer. who just posted in the chat that she does free daily meditations as well. And so all you have to do is click the Get Matched button, and within 24 to 48 hours, we will send you your customized matches, and you can go through and see who do you resonate with? Is it somebody you want to book? And we're actually offering for the first time ever a discount code. So you can either go to the View All Practitioners and select someone who you feel like you resonate with, and use the code AWAKEN, all in caps, 10. Again, that's AWAKEN 10, and get 10% off of any of the sessions that you book. This will be good for the next month. Or you can go to the Get Matched, and then we'll send you some insights about yourself and about why we matched you with certain healers, and you can choose to book one, all three, or to pause and book them at a later time. So that is our offering to you, and we would welcome any feedback you have. We're in beta phase right now, and our dream is to bring this around the world. We have Nicole Forrest, who is one of the healers on the platform in the room today, who's going to be doing live energy healing tomorrow at 10 a.m. PT on the Awakening World, along with Marcus Brown, who's another healer. And we also every Sunday do a Clubhouse room. So every Sunday at 11 a.m. PT on Clubhouse, we have an Om Heals Clubhouse room. Cheryl Lazarus was just with us a few weeks ago. Ashley Lee is going to be with us on the 6th. Tomorrow we have, I believe it's Carrie from British Columbia who's going to be joining us. So our dream is really, truly that if you want energy medicine, that you have access to it, whether it's through Shakti Durga and her team. The Kabbalah Center also has wonderful, amazing healers. You know, our goal is that you have the resources that you need, no matter what that looks like. And please do join us later on tonight as we continue looking at healing from the inside out. Dr. Bradley Nelson, author of the book The Emotion Code, is going to be joining us. Dr. Deepak Chopra is going to be doing a talk on quantum healing and talking about his new book, Abundance. And Shakti Durga, I think, might be able to join us for at least the early show, and maybe we'll get a little encore with Shakti Durga and Maitreya as we go into the opening of the show. And we also have another beautiful healer, Tanya Smith, who's going to be sharing a new release of one of her songs on tomorrow's Awakening World. So we have so much in store for you, and this is really designed to give you a 360-degree look at what resonates for you for your own healing. Kati J is the most prolific meditation facilitator. She facilitated beautiful meditations yesterday evening and will be doing so again tonight, along with Paulette Pipe and musical artist Amalie and Daniel. Daniel, what's Daniel's last name? I don't know it offhand.
Olin.
Okay, thank you, yes. So we have so much in store for everybody who wants to join.
Great. Thank you, Jennifer. And Deepak is launching a new book. So we'll be able to hear a little bit more about that, Abundance. And we're going to see if we can bring him on a Pulse coming up this year as well. So we're talking with him right now, but he's going to have a book launch on the 7th. And I guess anybody that signs up at the book launch gets a copy of the book. So definitely do that. We'll hear more about that tonight. And Unify, so many people are doing meditations on 2/22/22, and you can check on the Unify Facebook page or on breathe22.com. There's also a global meditation happening for peace in the Ukraine, and you'll find all of that on unify.org/love. I think that's the link that I put in the chat. And I want to say I'm super excited, but unified.org is now the fiscal sponsor and sister community for the Pulse. So when you contribute to the Pulse, when you make a donation, if you love what we're doing here, we operate on donations from the community, that every time you give a gift, a little bit of that goes into Unify and supports all of the global meditation and event initiatives that they have. So we're super excited to have this partnership and deepen our capacity to expand our reach and our impact as we move into this year. And I wanted to say that we have a page on the Global Coherence Pulse website where we put the archive. And this is the one from last month. Same thing will happen with this. The chat is here. Everybody's always asking like, oh, can we save the chat? So we're going to start making it so that the chat is available to you. You can link it. And also the links for the people that we're on the show. So just know that all of that gets taken from today and we bring it so that it's available to you, so you don't have to worry if you can't find something. And so we'll do that later today. And then just a few last things. The Islands of Coherence Network, we have been behind the scenes for the last 6 months or so, really saying, what do we need as a community to support us to cultivate greater coherence together? And we're going to be launching over the next couple of months some wonderful ongoing offerings that you can touch into so that we start to build our capacity for sustained coherence together. And one of the first things we're offering, this is Kadi J, she's the one who'll be doing the meditation tonight. She has a free 7-day challenge for people that are interested in learning about meditation and beginning their practice. And she's such a beautiful guide in that. So you'll meet her tonight if you come. And there's also a link to her offerings. And last but not least, Jennifer, the HeartMath is going to do their retreat again this year, a virtual retreat. You hosted that last year. It was an incredible event, and they're having their next one coming up in March. So this is really a wonderful opportunity if you want to learn more from the Institute of HeartMath. Joe Dispenza is going to be there, others. It's a wonderful 3-day event. So we put some links in the chat for that as well. So there's lots of beautiful things going on and lots of opportunities for you to be resourced as you go into your own journey of healing from the inside out. And it's really the only way for it to happen. It's time for us to stop trying to fix what's going on out there or resist what's going on out there and turn our attention inward to what's emerging here in our connection with our own sweet soul, because that's going to support us to actually be on our path and heal together. So we just have a couple minutes. Maybe we can just go around the circle and some closing words, and then we're going to play some music while you get links from the chat as we close up. So Shakti, any closing words from you before we do some music?
Only just I'm sure Maitreya and I we're grateful to be on the program with so many like-minded people and to share this energy and space. And I just love the projects that you're doing. I just think it's so fabulous. And I wish you every success. Namaste.
Yeah, much gratitude and huge blessings to everyone for being part of this event and many more to come. So let's keep the energy going and stay connected. So thanks, everyone.
Beautiful. And Jennifer?
I wanted to reiterate what you had said earlier, Teresa, and the blessings we did for the Ukraine that Shakti Durga was reflecting on. May I read something very quick from the Kabbalah Center? It's I like to use what's called the 72 Names of God, which is these beautiful energies that we can harness in order to connect to things like prosperity or happiness. And the other day I drew this card, which said global transformation. World peace begins within the individual. Before we can change the human condition, we must change ourselves. It is often easy to rally around a cause. It is far more difficult to look in the mirror and begin the work of inner transformation. If a beggar is in need of $5 and a passerby has only a nickel, he cannot fulfill the beggar's needs. In other words, we can only share what we possess. Before we can embark on a mission to change the world, we must first transform ourselves, change our ways, and attain true joy and fulfillment in our own lives. And if there is any doubt whatsoever that we ourselves still require further correcting, bear in mind this harsh Kabbalistic truth. That which our eyes witness in the external world, all the evil, all the wickedness, is but a mere image reflecting the remains of the evil that lays hidden, detected in our own hearts. As we reflect on this, all we can do, we can never change anybody. We can't change the Ukraine or Russia or whomever is out there. But the one thing we can do is look in our own hearts and, like Shakti Durga suggested, see, is there someone you haven't forgiven? Is there someone you're being distant with? Or maybe you haven't forgiven yourself. And in doing so, that's truly how we're going to find peace on the planet, is finding it within ourselves first. Thank you. Oh, I think you're muted, Teresa.
Yeah, I said beautiful. Thank you so much for that. So we're going to go out with music. Of course, that's the best way, just to take all of this wonderful energy, send it out on the planet, sing along. And we love you, and we hope we'll see you tonight. Blessings.
Thank you. Shiva Ganga Omkara Hare Hare Shiva Ganga
Shiva Ganga
Omkara
Omkara
Hare Hare Om.
Hara Hara
Nice. Shiva Ganga Omkara Hare Hare Shiva Ganga
Shiva Ganga
Omkara
Omkara
Hare Hare
Hara Hara
Shiva Ganga Omkara Hare Hare Shiva Ganga
Shiva Ganga
Omkara
Omkara
Hare Hare Om.
Hara Hara
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Everyone.
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
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 I turn my gaze towards you. I'm yearning now for the truth. And I hope to see you. Bring us into your bliss. Make us one with this. And may we realize we are love. 1, 2, 3.
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Oh!
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. May we connect with our great heart, the great heart of loving kindness, and may this pulse radiate everywhere, permeate inside. It may go in all directions as far and wide as possible. This is a precious place. We're so grateful. The sun has risen. We're lucky. There's a lot of work to be done, but with friends, we can do it all, and with faith. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya.
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Oh.
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Maheshwara,
Hara Hara Shankara,
Hey Maheshwara,
Hey Maheshwara,
Hara Hara Shankara, Hey
Hey
Maheshwara,
Hara Hara Shankara, Hey Maheshwara,
Shankara, Hey Maheshwara,
Hara Hara Shankara, Hey Maheshwara.
These words are roses at your feet.
These words are roses at your feet.
I declare my love for thee.
I declare my love for thee.
These words are roses at your feet.
These words are roses at your feet.
I surrender, now we're free.
I surrender, now we're free.
Namo Namah Narayani.
Namo Namo Narayani.
Namaste.
Oh, Teresa, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Microphone.
Let's take this
please.
love out into the world and share it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. See you tonight. We'll have another Shakti Durga and Maitreya tonight.
Yes, you guys we gotta have you guys come on, do an opening at the